The promise of 90 days. What if the next 90 days could decide the next 30 years of your life? Not through luck, not through motivation speeches, not through shortcuts, but through a system forged in pressure. Long before modern self-help books existed, there lived warriors who understood one brutal truth. Survival belongs to those who master themselves first. Among them was a man who lived not for comfort, but for precision. His life proved that transformation does not happen slowly by accident. It happens quickly, by design. Most people waste years waiting for the right time. Warriors create the right time by force of discipline. The next 90 days are not about becoming perfect. They are about becoming different. Different habits, different standards, different identity. Change does not begin with confidence. It begins with commitment. And commitment begins the moment you stop negotiating with your weaknesses. You don't need a miracle. You need a method. And methods work when emotions fail. Chapter 2. The Siege, Not the Sprint. People treat change like a sprint. They explode with motivation on day 1 and collapse by day 10. Warriors treat change like a siege. Slow, relentless, unstoppable. The first weeks feel powerful. You feel driven, focused, alive. Then the excitement fades. The boredom arrives. This is the true battlefield. Most quit here, believing the loss of excitement means the loss of progress. They are wrong. Excitement is noise. Discipline is signal. Great warriors trained when it felt pointless. They repeated movements when nothing seemed to change, because they understood something modern minds forget. Transformation is invisible before it becomes unstoppable. Every ordinary day you show up when nothing feels special. That is where identity is forged. Chapter 3. One blade, one battle. Most people lose because they fight too many battles at once. They want to change everything. Body, money, relationships, skills, mindset, all at the same time. The result is exhaustion disguised as ambition. Warriors choose one blade, one target, one mission. For the next 90 days, choose one transformation that matters most. Not 5, not 3-1. Make it measurable. Make it daily. Make it unavoidable. Not get better at life. But write 500 words every morning. Not get fit. But train 30 minutes at sunrise. This becomes your primary war. Everything else enters maintenance mode. You don't grow everything at once. You conquer one territory at a time. Focus is not limitation. Focus is domination. Chapter 4. Cutting away the dead weight. Every warrior travels light, not because he owns nothing, but because he refuses to carry what weakens him. Your life is full of silent drains. Objects you don't use, apps you don't need, habits you pretend are harmless, people who pull you back to who you were instead of pushing you toward who you could become. Nothing is neutral. Everything either strengthens you or softens you. The next phase of transformation is subtraction. You remove what does not serve. You delete what steals time. You distance yourself from what feeds comfort instead of growth. This is not cruelty. This is strategy. Clutter is not just physical. Clutter is emotional. Clutter is digital. Clutter is social, clear space, and power rushes in. Chapter 5. The War of the Morning. Every day begins with a battle before your feet even touch the floor. One voice says rise, the other says rest. Whichever you obey becomes your commander. Warriors do not negotiate with weakness. They move first, think later. Waking early is not about productivity. It is about identity. When you win the first hour of the day, you don't chase momentum. You command it. In the quiet before the world wakes, your discipline grows faster. No messages, no noise, no opinions, just you and the work that shapes your future. At first, your body resists. Then your mind adapts. Then your identity transforms. Soon, waking early stops feeling like sacrifice. It starts feeling like power. Chapter 6. The Power of Obsession. Balance is comfort disguised as wisdom. Great transformations are born from imbalance. When one goal receives obsessive commitment, for 90 days, your primary mission becomes sacred. It receives your best energy, your best time, your best focus. Everything else becomes secondary. This will make people uncomfortable. They will say you are extreme. They will say you should relax. They will say life is about balance. They are speaking from the voice of people who never built anything extraordinary. Masters are not balanced. Masters are devoted. You do not need a balanced life during transformation. You need a focused life. Chapter 7. The Discipline of Silence. Modern people talk too much about what they plan to do, and too little about what they actually do. Every time you announce your goals, your brain rewards you as if you already succeeded. The hunger disappears. The edge dulls. Warriors move in silence. They do not seek validation. They do not broadcast struggle. They do not narrate the journey. They let results speak. Silence protects your momentum from doubt, from opinions, from interference. When you stop explaining yourself, you start becoming yourself. Work quietly, grow privately, arrive loudly. Chapter 8. The Man You Meet After 90 Days. 90 days from now, you will meet a version of yourself you either respect or regret, not because of what you planned, but because of what you did when motivation disappeared, because of what you chose when comfort called, because of what you protected when distraction attacked. Transformation does not come from dramatic moments. It comes from boring discipline repeated until it becomes destiny. You do not become unstoppable by wishing. You become unstoppable by refusing to stop. The warrior's path does not begin with courage. It begins with action, and action begins now. Chapter 9. The day discipline replaces motivation. There comes a moment in every serious transformation when motivation quietly leaves. Not in anger, not in drama. It simply fades away like the last echo of a drumbeat after the army has already marched forward. This is where most journeys die. People panic when motivation disappears. They believe something is wrong. They search for new videos, new quotes, new speeches to reignite the fire. But warriors understand something deeper. Motivation is not the engine. It is the spark. Discipline is the engine. When you continue even when you feel nothing, when you train without excitement, when you act without applause, you cross into a different category of human being. You stop being someone who tries. You become someone who does. This is the exact moment your identity begins to change. You are no longer chasing transformation. You are becoming it. Chapter 10. The Mirror of Hard Truth. Around day 40, a strange thing happens. You begin to see yourself clearly for the first time. Not the version you pretend to be. Not the version you wish you were, but the version built by your actual habits. This mirror is uncomfortable. It shows you every excuse you've made, every promise you've broken to yourself, every time you chose comfort over courage. Most people turn away from this mirror. They numb themselves. They distract themselves. They return to the noise. Warriors stay. They stare longer. They let the truth cut. Because truth hurts once. Lies hurt forever. From this moment forward, you stop lying to yourself. You stop saying, "I'll try." You start saying, "I will." You stop negotiating with weakness. You start commanding strength. Chapter 11. The Death of the Old Identity. No real transformation happens without loss. Not loss of things, loss of self. The old version of you must die for the new one to live. The habits that once defined you must be buried. The excuses that once protected you must be exposed. The comfort that once felt safe must become unacceptable. This feels like grief. You will miss the easy nights, the careless days, the freedom of doing nothing. But that freedom was never real. It was just slow surrender. When warriors change, they do not decorate the old life. They abandon it quietly, completely. And when you let go of who you were, space opens for who you are becoming. Chapter 12. The Discipline of Pain. Pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. There are two kinds of pain in life: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. One strengthens you, the other destroys you. During these 90 days, you choose your pain. You choose to wake when tired. You choose to train when sore. You choose to focus when distracted. You choose to act when afraid. This pain builds power. The other pain, the pain of staying the same, waits patiently. It grows silently, and one day it becomes unbearable. Warriors choose pain early so they don't suffer later. Chapter 13. The Invisible Momentum. Progress is deceptive. At first, nothing seems to change. You work, you sacrifice. You stay disciplined, and still, life looks the same. This is where weak minds quit. They believe effort should always bring immediate reward. But deep change follows a different law, the law of accumulation. Like water heating slowly, nothing appears different until the moment it boils. Then everything changes at once. Your discipline is stacking power beneath the surface. Your consistency is building force you cannot yet see. And one day, suddenly, your confidence rises. Your clarity sharpens. Your presence changes. People feel it before you even notice it yourself. This is the moment you realize nothing was wasted. Nothing was for nothing. Everything was preparation. Chapter 14, The Solitude Test. As you grow stronger, something strange happens. You start feeling alone, not because people leave, but because your standards rise. Conversations feel shallow, complaints sound louder, excuses feel heavier. This is not arrogance. This is separation by evolution. When you change, your environment reacts. Some people support you, some resist you, some disappear. Let them. Great transformations are lonely, not because success isolates you, but because growth requires silence, focus, and time alone with your thoughts. Warriors are not afraid of solitude. They use it as a sharpening stone. Chapter 15. The moment you stop seeking approval. There is a dangerous habit hidden in most people, the need to be understood. They want everyone to see their struggle, to appreciate their effort, to approve of their discipline. But approval is a drug, and like all drugs, it weakens long-term strength. At some point in this journey, you stop needing applause. You stop needing recognition. You stop needing permission. You begin to measure yourself by one standard only. Did I do what I said I would do? When that becomes enough, you become unstoppable, because now your power comes from within, not from outside. Chapter 16, The Birth of the Unbreakable Mind. By now, something inside you has hardened, not into coldness, but into resilience. You no longer panic when things get difficult. You no longer collapse when plans fail. You adjust, you adapt, you advance. This is the warrior mind. Not emotional, not reckless, not fragile, calm under pressure. Focused in chaos, unmoved by excuses. You don't need to feel strong to act strong. You act strong, and strength follows. Chapter 17. The countdown to the new you. The final weeks of the 90 days arrive quietly. There is no celebration, no fireworks, just deep, solid change. You look back and barely recognize the person who started. The doubts feel distant. The weakness feels foreign. You are not perfect, but you are different. And different is destiny. Most people spend their lives waiting to change. You chose to build change. Most people hope for miracles. You created momentum, and momentum is stronger than luck. Chapter 18. The day you stop recognizing yourself. There comes a quiet morning when you look in the mirror and realize something has changed. Not just your habits, not just your schedule. Your presence feels different. Your eyes are calmer. Your posture is stronger. Your mind no longer feels scattered. You don't feel like you're trying anymore. You feel like you're becoming. This is the moment most people never reach. The moment when effort turns into identity. When discipline stops being something you do and becomes something you are. You no longer chase the warrior life. You live it. Chapter 19. The End of Excuses. Excuses used to feel natural. Now they feel insulting. Every time your mind suggests an easy way out, something inside you rejects it instantly. Not with anger, with clarity. You no longer ask, "Can I skip today?" You ask, "Who do I become if I skip today?" And you already know the answer. You've trained yourself to see consequences before comfort. That alone separates you from most of the world, because most people only see comfort and suffer consequences later. Warriors reverse that order. Chapter 20. The Power of Standards. Your life no longer runs on moods. It runs on standards. You train because that is your standard. You focus because that is your standard. You speak with discipline because that is your standard. Standards remove decision fatigue. You no longer debate with yourself. The path is already decided. This is the level where transformation becomes permanent. Motivation comes and goes. Standards stay. Chapter 21. When the world notices people begin to treat you differently. They can't explain why, but they feel it. Your words carry weight. Your silence carries authority. Your presence commands respect without demanding it. Some admire you, some feel uncomfortable around you, some quietly resent you. That is the price of growth. You are no longer part of the crowd that complains. You are part of the few who build. And builders are always misunderstood by those who prefer comfort. Chapter 22, The Test of Temptation. Success brings a new enemy, temptation. The temptation to relax, to slow down, to believe you've earned comfort forever. This is where many fall. The warrior does not mistake progress for a rival. You do not stop sharpening your blade because you won one battle. You sharpen it because you won. Discipline does not end at victory. It begins again at a higher level. Chapter 23, The Life You No Longer Want Back. One day, you try to imagine your old life, and it feels chujoi, foreign. The late nights of distraction, the wasted mornings, the empty ambition, the half-kept promises. You don't miss it. You don't envy it. You don't romanticize it. You finally understand. You were not free back then. You were drifting. Now you are directed. Freedom is not doing anything you want. Freedom is doing what builds you. Chapter 24, The Quiet Confidence. The loud confidence fades. The need to prove yourself disappears. What replaces it is something far stronger. Certainty. You don't argue about your worth. You don't explain your discipline. You don't defend your choices. You simply live them. And that quiet certainty becomes your greatest weapon. Chapter 25. Becoming the Example. People begin asking you questions. How did you change so much? How did you become so focused? How did you stay consistent? You don't give long speeches. You give simple answers. I decided who I wanted to become, and I stopped negotiating with the process. Some will listen. Most will nod and return to comfort. That is not your concern. Your duty is not to convince. Your duty is to demonstrate. Chapter 26, The Warrior's New Battle. The truth is simple. The battle never ends. It only changes form. First, you fight laziness. Then you fight doubt. Then you fight distraction. Then you fight pride. Each level demands a stronger version of you, and that is the beauty of the warrior path. There is always another mountain, and you are always becoming the kind of person who climbs. Chapter 27, The Legacy of Discipline. Long after motivation fades, long after excitement dies, one thing remains. The structure you built inside yourself. You built the habit of action, the instinct of focus, the courage to be uncomfortable, the strength to stand alone. This is not a 90-day result. This is a lifetime upgrade. Chapter 28, The Final Truth. You were never weak. You were never broken. You were never incapable. You were simply untrained. Now you are forged. And forged minds do not return to softness. They move forward. They build quietly. They stand firmly. They live deliberately. Chapter 29, The Warrior You Have Become. 90 days ago, you were hoping for change. Today, you are the change. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. Not because fear disappeared, but because courage took control. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Chapter 30, The Path Continues. This is not the end of your story. This is the end of your old one. From here forward, every day is no longer about becoming disciplined. It is about protecting the discipline you earned. The warrior's path does not stop. It only deepens. And now, you walk it alone. Strong, focused, unbreakable. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and comment.